going to do is I'm just going to get my program to run 5 times, and we can have a best out of 5 competition. So I've got the code from the first solution, and all I'm going to do is actually just put all of this into a loop and then make sure I keep a score. So I'm just going to reorganize my code a bit. I'm going to get rid of the print keeper move because that was from the testing from the last. I'm going to keep these options at the start of the code. I'm going to create a loop that's going to run 5 times. I'm going to use a while loop for this. You could use a for loop, doesn't really matter. A for loop probably would be better, but I'm going to just jump to a while loop here, and I'm going to say x equals 0, while x less than 5. I'm going to ask the keeper to make their choice. I'm then going to ask the user to make their choice, make sure my indents are correct. I'm then going to print which way the keeper's dived. I'm then going to read my if statement inside the while loop. To be honest, year 10s, if you haven't done this extension, I'd probably like you to pause the video now and just get to this stage and just see if you can get it so that it prints the overall winner at the end. Okay, because at the moment mine just says each penalty, but maybe you could see if you can now get from here, get to an overall winner. And I'm going to code that now. So if user is the same as the keeper move, I'm going to say penalty saved, unlucky, and I'm going to say keeper score equals keeper score plus 1. Penalty scored, I'm going to say player score equals player score plus 1. And then at the end of that while loop, I'm just going to say if keeper score greater than player score, I'm just going to print keeper wins. I'm going to use an elif here because I'm going to say there's 3 options because we could essentially have the same score. If so elif player score greater than keeper score, print player wins, else print it's a draw. Okay, now you may have noticed that I need to have keeper score and player score variables defined before the while loop. So I'm going to say keeper score equals 0 and player score equals 0. Okay, so before I run this code, I think this code should work. Now let's have a look at it one more time. So we had to run it 5 times. So I've got x as my counter. X is going to say if it's less than 5, it's going to run the following. Okay, I've got a keeper score and a player score, so that each time the keeper does well, if there's a penalty, his score goes up by 1. If the player scores, their score goes up by 1. At the end of the while loop, okay, so look at the indentations. At the end of the while loop, it just sees who's got the biggest score. The only problem I have noticed is that I don't increment the x by 1, so this loop will run forever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say here x equals x plus 1, and that's not inside the if statements, but it is inside the while loop. So I'm quite confident now that I'm going to run this code and hopefully it will work. So I'm going to go to the right, keeper has dived to their left, penalty scored. One more time, left. Good. I'm going to go center. Okay, so the keeper saved that one. So I could keep an up running score. It's 2-1 to me. Let's go back to the right. Okay, so it's 3-1 to me. This should be the last time. Back to the left. So the penalty is saved. So it ended 3-2 to me. If you add those up, you could keep that tally going, but it ended 3-2 to me. Player wins. Excellent. So that solution works. Make sure your solution is the same, please.